Good evening to you. Welcome to this Friday's edition of the Football Sleep. My name is Robinson Okenye, and for the next 1 hour, it's all about what is happening in the world of football. Now, I've not been around for, say, 2-3 weeks. 3 weeks. I've been away for 3 weeks. Yes, and while I was away, Manchester United has not lost. But on the flip side, Shabana has lost 3 games in a row. Yeah. Well, that is the flip side of doing this. Now, I'm not alone in studio. Hassan Juma is here with me. Good evening, Hassan. How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Good to see you.
Happy to see you. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
We need to welcome the young man over there.
Oh, yes.
In a special way.
Fred Kagonyi is back.
In a special way.
After 2 months, haters. He's back.
Where was he?
Haters.
No sense for him.
Kaka baba ya kupeleka shule stafaja ulibaliza.
Kiingereza bado hujafika.
Daniel Kariuki, good to have you on the show. You've enjoyed the entire week?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
And you have said you can actually see it's only Manchester that has made it to the pitch.
Your new hairstyle.
Ni pesa, Hassan. You see, Manchester United is the only team that has made it to the to the pitch. But how have you been?
Away team haijatana up.
Away team haijafika.
Waiting for Chelsea.
How have you been, Robbie, now that 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
You know, it is me who was holding brief.
Yeah, you held
with Ndosi.
You held brief very well. But unajua paka kirudi.
Hiyo hakuna msemo kama hiyo.
Cedric Musumba, how are you? Uko sawa?
It's not happy.
Hawezi kuwa sawa.
Walilimwa midweek.
Hawezi kuwa sawa.
Midweek. Roger Sishtevi, good to have you. I can see you're donning the national colors, of course, with the shield.
Yeah. But I'm pitting my friend Karaoke there because I think maybe electricity disappeared when the Bab was still trying to shave him, and I think that's when the fire came at 4 to at least try and clear it. That's when he has those bumps on his head. Sorry, Karaoke. Next time.
What bumps?
But you see, the president also said that we should be having load shedding. So probably ilianza huko kwao.
Yes.
Huyu jamaa hajui style. Hii inaitwa style.
Which style?
Haujui
1980 style nimefikia.
Nataka muoneshe hii style. Niambia hapa haiko huko.
Hii style tupate
Juma,
hata kuna mchezaji ananyoa hivi.
Hii style ya 1980 nimefikia Karaoke style.
Nataka muoneshe hii style.
Hii style
Hii style, there is a player who has such a...
Which player? You're copying a player who doesn't know the name.
Kuna mchezaji.
Gani?
Ni wa Cameroon.
Lakini ukubali kuna nywele inapotea.
Yes, and gentlemen, good to have Fred Kagonyi back.
Yeah.
He's left this line.
Amewaga ukapera.
Ameuasi ukapera. Yes, he's now.
You know the last time he was here.
Kama uko umeyeka nje.
You know the last time he was here, the last time he was here, he was not putting on a ring.
Yes.
Sasa hizi muone jamaa kwa hapa. Madam anaangalia, so lazima afanye hivi kidogo. Nasema bado niko nayo.
Kamera yangu ni gani ile?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, bro.
By the way, congratulations, Fred. Thank you for paving the way for the likes of Karaoke. They will be joining you in that. So let's recap the week. Let's begin on how the week has been. And Ajax have officially parted ways with John Heitinga. Kagonyi.
Yes, sir.
I mean, they brought back this gentleman right here, hoping that he was going to turn their fortunes, but things have not been going the way they expected. They are bottom of the Champions League table.
So I watched the game when Ajax played Chelsea, and if you looked at the team, despite them being a man down, they weren't really. It's like they're not buying his ideas.
It's not the Ajax of old that we've known.
It's not the Ajax of the old. It's not the Ajax that we knew from Erik ten Hag and his predecessors, but also goes on to continue that tradition that not all good players end up becoming good coaches. He was a very good defensive midfielder for Everton, but as a coach, something somewhere is not working right.
His most famous, of course, his most famous contribution was for Netherlands in the 2010 World Cup. when he stepped on Xabi Alonso. Now, let's move away from hating Roger Shtemi. Let's take a look at the other man that has also been shown the door just from performing very well with the Tanzania national team, and now Morocco. Ameambiwa nyumbani. Now, we are being told, not sure if this is true, but he found out on social media that he's been fired.
Yeah, it's really, really unfortunate a coach of Morocco's caliber to be fired via social media. And remember, he's the person who was the understudy to Amroch when they went to AFCON last time out. And after that, he took over the mantle. And he has been with the team, and they are going back to AFCON, as Kenyans will be cheering them. Unfortunately, now Morocco will not be going to Morocco.
Are you sure Kenyans will be cheering?
Definitely, the banter will be there. But what has happened the last few days or so maybe can make them cheer the Taifa Stars when they go to Morocco. But that said and done, I feel they did him a dishonor, not maybe to tell him maybe even via letter or even give him a call, yeah, to tell him that he has been fired. A person who has been with that team has tried to push them to go back to AFCON for the second time in a row in their history. Is somebody whom you need to respect, and also a person who is a Tanzanian. Yeah, he has been with the Zanzibar national team, of course, but right now he has been handling the Taifa Stars, and him being shown the door, and suddenly they brought in the Singida man to be in charge until when the team will be playing at AFCON. I think there'll be some disconnect, of course, but you know, the people who run football, they know the reasons why maybe they had to send him out. And remember, prior to that, he had also been given a chance at Simba to handle Simba. The last few games when they fired the head coach, is the man who stepped in to handle Simba for a while before he went back to the national team. Sorry to him, I know him personally, but maybe he can cross over and come to Kenya to do some good work for us in the local arena.
Robinson, why is he complaining that he got his dismissal via social media? Maybe they sent him a mail, but there was no internet, so he was unable to read the mail.
Makes sense. Maybe. Yes, Cedric Musumba. They thought that this man, let's move away from Morocco, they thought that he was washed, but he's back to the national team. Who am I talking about? N'Golo Kante. Back to the Les Blues, the French national team. And I'm sure Didier Deschamps is going to use him a lot heading into this qualifier, this crucial period of the qualifier, and even, who knows, it might be at the 2026 World Cup.
Probably, you know, France, with all the host of midfielders that it has, you need also some kind of leadership in that particular midfield. Remember, at some point, I do believe that whatever happened to Paul Pogba actually disjointed that particular midfield to an essence that they had to play, they were forced to play at a certain period of time without a very really experienced player in that midfield who can, and again, control the team from that center. So bringing back N'Golo Kante, and we know very well the value that he has. He has been an engine for so long. He has a gas that any other coach will admire him in that particular midfield. Coming back, and also he's still trading with the same kind of vigor where he is in Saudi Arabia. So coming back does not necessarily paint a different N'Golo Kante that we have associated ourselves with.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah, and also he might be pairing that particular midfield with the able kind of player, the likes of Kamavinga, Chumeni, in that particular midfield, still an engine. So as to say, he might not necessarily be coming back to maybe offer the value, the deservable value of carrying balls and supplying where to, but that leadership in the dressing room, that leadership from the bench, that leadership from the pitch.
He's normally a very quiet and shy guy.
He is, and that's his nature, but he speaks a lot on the pitch, other than vocally and verbally kind of speeches that one would actually like to hear from shorter people like him. We understand. But the essence that when he's on board...
No. You mean his short stature, not shorter people like him. Short stature.
Thank you for correcting me.
Short men like who?
We are addressing N'Golo Kante. But the experience that I've had with shorter people all the way from back from high school and primary school, they have been so vocal if it comes to SS. And they're still vocal even currently where I work with, because they talk too much. So as to say, Golo Kante actually does not mirror that. It's the opposite of everything. He's so quiet and he does his things silently. So as to say, he put everything in practical kind of aspect other than just verbal, and anyone would actually expect. But the quality that he has been carrying all along in the team that has been playing, maybe at the club level, at the national level. And remember, he's not necessarily coming back to look for either World Cup position. He's already has a World Cup on his tag. He has won a UEFA, has won league. He
Champions
has
League,
literally almost everything. So as just to come back, the service that's coming and made to usher in these young players that are coming. France has got so many young players, and they will need somebody actually to usher them in slowly and make them perform even much better than the N'Golo Kantes.
Not sure why Roger Sishtemi is holding himself like that. Probably he has some reflection to do on N'Golo Kante coming back to the national team. But let me bring in Daniel Kariuki. I want us to shift gears. We get into the Champions League. We had a couple of matches this week, and it's very, very interesting. Bayern Munich at the top of the league, Ajax at the bottom of the league, Barcelona squeezing into number 10 on that league, Newcastle just on number 8. But let's begin with Bayern Munich. Yes, they were in action, and the 10 men managed to get a win against the defending champions, Paris Saint-Germain.
You know, sometimes you wonder, Vincent Kompany, when he was at Burnley in the English Premier League, he was relegated. He was promoted and again relegated, and then he joins Bayern, and I think out of 16 games they've won all of them this season.
Yeah, they're unbeaten.
They are unbeaten. That shows you that it's a team that is ready to win titles. We are talking about Champions League, about the league. They won the league last season, and looking at the next game, they're going to be playing Arsenal. So this will be a key determiner if indeed Vincent is ready to win the Champions League. And they are the best, I would say they are the best suited to win this Champions League, going with how they have been playing. Look at the players, some of the players that have joined them. You can imagine Luis Diaz leaving Liverpool to go to Bayern. And he has been doing some good work. Never mind that he got a red card after scoring 2 goals. And then he scored the second one, and then he's red carded. But they won the game. Yeah, they did win the game. That goes to show you that they have that resilience to win the title, as well as go for the Champions League. Remember, PSG also pulled such a move last season, so which will not be a surprise. And you have to say that Pep Guardiola, I think, has some very good students.
Now, speaking of Liverpool, Fred Kagonye.
Yes.
They got a 1-0 win against Real Madrid. You know, one of the biggest clubs in world football. McAllister scoring the only goal in that fixture. Is it something that you had envisioned? Did you see Liverpool collecting 3 points against the Los Blancos?
Not really. Looking at their recent form for both teams, actually. Alonso has been performing well in the league. When it comes to Champions League, he's been here, not here, not there. When you look at Ancelotti has had quite a difficult period of the last 5 to 10 games.
7 games.
Yes. So his team has been struggling.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting that Kariuki has pointed out someone like Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz left. He brought in some players here and there. And the players that he's brought in have not adapted maybe to his style of playing, or maybe he won the league last season from the fruits of what Jurgen Klopp had sown. So it was not a win that I expected. I expected that match to end in a draw. But Alexis McAllister decided otherwise, and they now have 3 points. Yes.
Ceballos, what's not happening with Real Madrid? Their first loss of the season. First big loss of the season.
You know, that game actually they played like they were in exhibition, because you can't necessarily go ahead, beat a team of Barcelona, and come and lose it to Liverpool. And also, to analyze it much better, it was also much surprising to see that they are considering a goal from the shortest person in that particular field, given to the essence that they have actually centre back the likes of Militao and Dean Huijsen are so tall to contain and all to manage that kind of crosses. If McAllister can come and little sneak away from them, it means actually they were sleeping on job, and they went actually to a lapse at that particular time, which is something that's not really acceptable at the Real Madrid kind of stature, more so for fans who have followed that particular team, and also going by the caliber of players that they have been scouting. When you are scouted at Real Madrid, you are coming there to offer the services of your predecessors. Remember, the predecessors are watching, and they want even you to do much better. Roberto Carlos actually was there very early, before even the start of the match. I see him even sharing his jersey, the previous jersey, with some of the Liverpool players. But it was so much disservice to him watching the shortest person scoring or penetrating that particular defense of Real Madrid, and bearing to the mind that they are coming from beating Barcelona, which was quite convincing to anyone else. No one else actually could think that Real Madrid would come to a Liverpool who and again had struggled in a few matches and lose that particular game. So as to say, they came in with so much confidence. Some of those players were playing like they were in exhibition just to impress the podium, to impress actually the terraces. But now they have realized that, oh, time has run out of them, that they need to actually pick up some points and start winning games seriously if they want to run away with some trophies.
Rogers Ishtemi, we are sleeping on Arsenal, and they are slowly, gradually, and surely getting wins, and very important wins for them. Mikel Merino with a brace as they got a 3-0 win against Slavia Prague. They are second on the log. I mean, is this their season?
I think it has already been written in the skies, and nobody can doubt that indeed
Kagonyi is laughing at you.
He can laugh. He can give him he can give him the whole hour to laugh, but at the end of it all, the message will be home. Yeah, because looking at Arsenal and playing honestly, you can dislike them. Maybe you can consider them maybe as the set pieces masters. But at the end of the day, what matters is the result. You win, you prepare for the next game. And that's exactly what the Gunners are doing. Based on the Prague game, actually, Prague only got, was it one lame shot on target? Yeah. Apart from that, they never did anything else. And you know, this is not the Arsenal team A. It was maybe mixed of youngsters, the Dorman, who were making their debut in that particular Champions League match. And based on how Arteta is trying to build this team, I think the opposition are finding so difficult to play against them. You come with the low block, they know how to open it up for you because they have the quality. They have spent a lot of money in the last 2-3 seasons trying to bring players to fit in their playing system. And luckily for Arteta, things are working out. And like I've said on this show in the initial time, that if Arteta doesn't win a title this season, definitely then it will be so difficult for him to convince fans that he's there to maybe to bring in the lost glory. So I think it is Arsenal's season of glory. They have to go all out because their bench is really strong, and whoever comes off the bench, he does what the person who is on the pitch didn't do. And I feel the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Bayern Munich, the next game, that's going to actually determine, to tell us if indeed Arsenal can go all the way and maybe to challenge for either Champions League and also the Premier League, the match against Bayern Munich.
Kariuki, you've been smiling and laughing all through as Ishtemi was speaking. Probably you are of a different opinion.
I think Arsenal last season in the Champions League,
they lost in the semi-finals to PSG.
Yes, that's what I wanted actually to say, that the league stage, I don't think should be the determining factor if they are indeed ready for this. We should check the knockout stage, because that's where most of the teams, they don't make it to the finals, as you have put it. Arsenal lost in the semi-final. The previous season, I think they lost at the quarters, if I'm not wrong. Is to wait if they're going to manage to sneak into the finals, because that's where we'll know that if they are serious or not. Because kumaliza top 8, I think they did that last season. Lakini after kupiga Real Madrid, they did not manage to get to the finals.
They lost to the eventual winners.
In fact, I would want them to meet again with Real Madrid. No, in the
Champions League,
in the knockout. That's what I'm saying. In the knockout, so that we see if it will.
Tukue too honest. Arsenal watapiga Real.
Sisemi they are bad.
Hata saizi.
Sisemi ni wabaya.
Hata wakifunga hiyo nini.
Ndio nasema it would be interesting. And you know, kwanza Arsenal haina short people. So it will be interesting to see this Arsenal playing Real Madrid or playing another team.
Saka.
Asaka is a bit tall.
And he scores, actually. Short people score. Just realized today, short people are scoring. We're making a lot of noise. But the truth of the matter is, Arsenal is a very good team. Currently, as Rogers has put it, is that anyone coming from the bench, he can change the game. But my only problem with Arsenal of this season is the good thing they are not conceding. But again, the number of goals they are scoring. Look at the league side of it. They have scored 18 goals, if I'm not wrong. Manchester City have scored 20 goals. Yes, they have conceded
out of those
18.
Out of those 20 goals that have been scored by Manchester City, one player scored almost 17.
Almost, exactly.
Yeah.
So what we are saying is, Man City is having a goal difference of 12. Arsenal is having a goal difference of 18 minus 3 is
15.
3 goals. The difference is 3 goals. So they are not conceding, yes, but again they are scoring very few goals. Whereas the goal difference might be a determining factor in this case. So I think they should increase on the number of goals they are scoring, especially in the league. But in the Champions League, we wait on the knockout stage and see if things are going to be
They were
different.
playing against Slavia Prague, so...
No, they are playing good game. Give it to Arteta. He has managed to do a very good, I think, at Arsenal. The rebuilding has been real. I would say that
He's doing job.
He's doing the job. He's working.
Cedric Musumba, Napoli, things are not going right for Antonio Conte at the moment.
Yeah, league leaders actually. I might say that it's only Bayern Munich and maybe Arsenal who have had an easy ride when it comes to a continental showpiece. I would say that the likes of Real Madrid actually falling to Liverpool, which is struggling. Similar, Napoli is finding it so hard the other side. You go PSG actually the other day, they find it so rough in the face of Bayern Munich. And I'm so not quite happy that when Karaoke was trying actually to put his point at home, he did not actually come to tell us that Arsenal first test will be Bayern Munich, which is bound to come very soon. So as to say that their ride has been not that quite difficult compared to the team that they have been facing in Champions League. So as to say, Napoli, in the other hand, I think they were not just prepared for Champions League, because you go back at home, they have an easy ride. They are playing bigger teams and they are grinding point from bigger team. They are on the top of the log back at home. At some point, actually, they tried to flip-flop. Roma went ahead, but they reclaimed their position. Inter comes struggling, trying to push for that particular position, but they are still commanding that top. But when it comes now to continental, where and again, all the permutation that are required, first you need your players actually who has that experience, that particular field, who can contain at that particular stage. That is not happening at Napoli. Remember, their most experienced player whom they roped in, the likes of De Bruyne,
yes.
the likes of Lukaku, they are not really in that particular team. They only left with the likes of McTominay, which, and again, I can say, he was not the perennial champion league player. He was a league player. So that experience of the champion league stature is what they are lacking. Containing their game, when is to manage the game, when is to get goals. And at some point, I remember when a team in EPL, sorry to mention Chelsea, used to win games in Champions League. They would not go for beautiful soccer, but they would sit back. But the result, as Fishtemi said, yes. So Napoli, they are coming here and trying to bring the Serie A. They are redefined the Serie A angle. Because we have known all along the Serie A was the most defensive league. But Napoli have redefined it in a way that they are playing with the midfield. De La Botka, Samba Anguissa in that particular midfield. They are driving that ball up front. McTominay has assumed the role of driving the ball for midfield and looking for goals, which was not the kind of Serie A kind of style of play. So coming to championship, they are forgetting that that's where the game is managed. Sit back, find your spaces and get goals. But when you go to Champions and you open up the game like Real Madrid open up to Liverpool, you find yourself actually wiping your tears. That's what's happening to them.
So sorry to cut you short, but when it comes, I think we have to look at the Conte factor. Conte has always been performing well in the league, but Champions League and Europa, he's never been a continental kind of a coach. The only success that he had was to take Inter to the finals, and he was beaten. So again, I think the Conte factor comes into play when you look at his team at Inter Milan, when you look at his team at Juventus, when you look at his team at Chelsea. and now Napoli. He's never been that coach to take the team to
But
the
it
final.
has never been such miserably contained like what we are seeing currently with Napoli. Yeah. Remember, Napoli actually is not representing the face of a team that is commanding the league back at home. Going to Continental is playing like an amateur. Even Carabao is performing better than Napoli.
Let me quickly run through, because we need to take a short break. Let me quickly run through other moments that are defined this week. Atletico Madrid was in action. They got 3-0 win against Union St. Louis. And then aside from this, Barcelona, very disappointing, but we had Manchester City with Phil Foden with a brace, and they got a 4-1 win against Dortmund. After this, Barcelona was in action, and this was the most disappointing game that we saw this week. Everybody expected Barcelona to win. Club Brugge should have won that match. That is something that most people feel that should have happened. But aside from this, we also had other moments that have shaped the week and the way it has been. Yes, Kenya Police FC unveiled a new coach. We are waiting to see. His first match will be against Gor Mahia. Now his first match on the touchline. Ile
That's his
unajua
second. I think he won.
ile yako hasa ile aliletwa haraka asimame pale. Sasa hii ndio real test. Gor Mahia, they will be facing Gor Mahia, and aside from that, Nairobi United also got a 3-1 win against Bandari. So Hassan, before we take a break, we do have the
10
sleep
matches
for the weekend. Yes.
Arakaraka, Madeka. Eka hizo games Kienda Madeka is our director tonight. So Nairobi United will be taking on Kariobangi Sharks. Kenya Police, as Robbie said, will be playing Gor Mahia in the Sport Pesa League, right? Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United, Everton against Fulham, Manchester City at Etihad against, that's a big one, against Liverpool over the weekend. Then we go to La Liga, Valencia at home against Real Betis, Celta Vigo against Barcelona in La Liga. In Syria, Juventus against Torino, Inter Milan against Lazio, and in the Bundesliga, Frankfurt against Mainz. So these are the 10 matches we'll be focusing on this weekend in your weekend dose of the football slip.
So we take a short break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the big games that we have for the weekend. Manchester United will be traveling to Tottenham Hotspur. We'll be focusing on that, as well as on Sunday, Manchester City host Liverpool. That is going to be a cracker, but that will be after the break. Welcome back to the Football Sleep. And now this part of the show, we want to shift gears. We take a look at what is happening with the national football team, Harambee Stars, and the head coach, Benny McCarthy, named his squad that will be in action against Senegal and Equatorial Guinea. Rogers Ishtemi. These are the goalkeepers, Brian Opondo, Brian Bwire, Brian Omondi. Seems to be a goalkeeper, lazima ukwe Brian. Anyway, just a coincidence. And then you have midfielders Alpha Nyango, Duka Buya, Timothy Ouma, Marvin Nabwire, the other midfielders still in this squad. Okay, we've gone to defenders: Bryson Wangai, Sylvester Ovino, Alfonso Mija, Michael Kibuage, Ronnie Onyango, Kevin Otiende, and Baron Ocheng. We have a big list of attackers. There was where you have Austin Odhiambo, William Lenkupai, Job Ochieng, Boniface Mushiri, Sharif Musa, Aldrin Kibet, Ovelo Ochieng, Jonah Yunga, Rano Gam, and Lawrence Okoth. Briefly, Rogers Ishtemi, what do you make of this squad that will be in action against Equatorial Guinea and Senegal? Who are you excited to see back in the squad, and probably who do you feel missed out on this squad?
I think McCarthy is still on the rebuilding phase, and seeing a player like Aldrin Kibet finally earning his Harambee Stars call-up. It was long overdue because these are some of the players that will be banking on when you go to hopefully AFCON 2027, because they still have a lot of years ahead of them, and the talent they possess, definitely everybody will be pleased to see them trying to play. And then the return of Sharif Musa, he has been doing a good job at Gor Mahia. The last time he had that call-up was during under the Engine Ferret. That was last year. But now maybe the player that he tried to drop, that is from Mansour Sliman, and then Harper together with Wilson to bring in the youngster Brant Onyona of Gor Mahia, the left back, and then Kevin Otiende from Nairobi United. They're making their debut in the national. They made their maiden call-up in the team. So it's still a team that maybe McCarthy hasn't yet gotten the players they deserve to present to the country. This is my team.
Shtobi, as we take a look at the midfielders, let's go back to the midfielders. How long do you think McCarthy needs to find his team?
I think by right now he should be having a team, honestly speaking, because he has had a lot of matches to assess the players, and also he has watched a couple of Sport Pesa Premier League matches already. And for him not maybe to have already known the players that maybe they deserve to be in the team, maybe the best 18 in the country, both locally and abroad, maybe that's big question. Because looking at what Senegal are presenting, whom they are going to face on 18th November, I think it is a big test. I think Senegal have presented their best, and he decided maybe to give Olunga some time to relax and give a more mantle on Ryan Ogam. Definitely, Ryan Ogam is the future to get the other players around him. But which system is he trying to build? Will he continue changing these players, or he already has a team that's going to face any opponent? Maybe if we decide that Harambee Stars is going to play against Nigeria, playing against maybe Brazil, which players will he present and say, these are my best players who will have to play against these giants of the world?
Yes, so that is the final squad that will be in action versus Equatorial Guinea and Senegal when we get to the international window, which opens next weekend. Yes, a very, very interesting fixtures that Kenya has right there, taking on Senegal, a side that will be fresh from taking on Brazil. It will be very, very interesting. So, Daniel Kariuki, Hassan Juma, tuangalie predictions zenu haraka haraka kabla tuingie kwa games kubwa.
Kabla hata uende prediction. Kwani AFC inanga players wa kuitwa?
Kaka, tuingie kwa predictions.
Nairobi United. Kariobangi Sharks 1x. Kenya Police Gor Mahia hapo mabao. Tute mabao over 1.5. Everton Fulham 1x. Man City Liverpool hapa kutoka na mabao mengi sana.
Lakini umeweka over 1.5.
Yes, hata kufungana 5 si bado tuni over 1.5.
Okay.
Well, anyway, X2. This is my sleep.
Juventus Torino, Juventus to win, Inter Milan Lazio, Inter will draw, and then Frankfurt versus either way. Kariuki, tupeleke na yako the predictions that you have for the weekend.
Mtu anasema yako na over 2.5, baba umengi na ameweka over 1.5.
Kaka,
Nairobi United
yako.
Wewe umeogopa.
Hii yako hasa. Yako.
Kaka, is the same one.
Uko serious?
It's the
But
same.
then kama uliba yangu.
Ai.
Unakuja kwa desk yangu unachukua slip yangu.
Nairobi United, Kariobangi Sharks. Nairobi United has been doing well. Ndio kwa league namna hii lakini wata Kenya Police Gor Mahia either side.
You know they've only won 3 matches this season.
Which is
tatu. Nairobi United.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've won 3
But
matches.
uko nje they are doing well. They bring it back home. Tottenham Manchester United. Hiyo ni mechi ya 1.5 in favor of Manchester United. Everton Fulham hapo mpaka kwa Valencia Real Betis over 1.5. Celta Vigo Barcelona ama draw. Juventus Torino, Juventus or a draw hata kama they are performing dismally. Inter Milan Lazio either side. Frankfurt means 1.5. Hiyo naona tu nikiongoza because nimekuwa nikiongoza either way.
So my predictions for the weekend: Nairobi United versus Kariobangi Sharks, It is a game that will have more than 2 goals. Kenya Police versus Gor Mahia, Gor to win or
Police,
draw.
yes,
Tottenham versus Manchester United over 1.5. Everton Fulham over 1.5. Man City Liverpool over 1.5. Kariuki ni kama ulinibia. Valencia versus Real Betis, either way. Celta Vigo Barcelona to win. Juve versus Torino, either way. You know this is a Turin derby. It's not going to be very easy. Inter Milan versus Lazio, Inter or draw. Frankfurt Mainz, it's going to go either way. Now let's get to the big games.
Mainz?
Over 1.5.
Say the other way.
Hata kama ni 2-1.
Kutakuwa tuna
Bado
mabao.
kutakuwa na
But
mabao.
I want to be categorical. Mimi ndio nilijaza predictions wa kwanza. So ikiwa kuna any differences,
uliwapatia wakakwambia acha tukope alafu tutacheza.
Let's get to the two biggest games that we have this weekend, and we begin with Manchester United taking on Tottenham. Kagonye,
Yes,
let me begin with you. What are you expecting from this fixture?
Tottenham, Chelsea beat them. It was not a convincing win, but still. But Tottenham this season, if you compare them to what Ange Postecoglou was when he was in charge, they are a bit different. They are a bit compact in one way or the other. They are playing, but I saw some criticism directed towards Thomas Frank and how he's playing. He's setting up his team to play. He still has that mindset that he had at Brentford, that we are going to this game, yes, we might win, but we don't want to lose. So he's not attacking as the Tottenham faithfuls would want him to attack. Looking at Manchester United, Amorim finally seems to have gotten some few things here right. He won 3 games in a row and then drew against Nottingham Forest. For me, this game will be a cracker, and I would go with for once. Let me back Amorim.
Amorim, you're backing Amorim.
Yes.
Roger Sishtemi, your expectation, is it going to be red or white?
I think Red Devils are wounded. They'll be remembering what Spurs did to them in the Europa final last season. So they have to win this match by all means, and also they are trying to chase.
Wajua ni kama hiyo ndio point Kariuki alikuwa amejiami nayo.
Unaharibu.
Umemtoa tonge mdomoni.
Sawa, unge kwanza lazima nitamalizia.
Ajua atasema nini sasa.
Nimeona tu the way he's just shifted. That was his main point.
before you get to Sedo and me, before you get to me, you have to pass through Sedo.
No, start with Kariuki first, please.
No, first time is new.
No, wacha malize. Mimi au kimeshia hapo. Kariuki, take over, brother, please.
Yes. Adding to what? Maybe I'll just say.
Yes,
I'm echoing the sentiments of Rogers. I think that it is true. Manchester United has lost like 4 games back to back playing Tottenham last season. Talking of Carabao, Tottenham ndio watoa Manchester United. You're talking of Europa. Tottenham ndio ilishinda Manchester, and also
final.
Yeah, the final of Europa League, and also home and away in the league.
Yes.
So they basically lost all the games last season to Tottenham. So I'm looking at a team that has had 3 wins and a draw, as he has put, and of course a team that has just won the manager of the month, the player of the month. They have to win the game. They have to win the game so that at least they can show that there is some good progress with some of the teams. Liverpool last season draw 2-2, won this time 3 points. Brighton lost to Brighton last season. They have won at Old Trafford. Nottingham beat them. They have drew Nottingham. So Tottenham aliwapiga
4 times.
I expect them to kurudisha mabao na kwenda number 2. They are going to sleep number 2. Hiyo nasema bila emotions, bila ati mimi ni mtu usibiri ushabiki.
Cedric, for Thomas Frank, he had a couple of injuries, but now the players are back. The likes of Kulusevski was out for quite some time. He was back in the game against Chelsea. He deserved to be sent off, but he wasn't. You have the likes of Xavi Simons yet to click, and then Tottenham have players that have, made it a habit of scoring against Manchester United. The likes of Brennan Johnson, and also their main striker, their main man, has been a thorn in the flesh for Manchester United. So, are you expecting the Whites to shine in this fixture?
Another good statistics that my fellow panelists have failed actually to capture vividly into this is one, both of these teams have not been performing well away from home. They have been struggling actually to grind points away from home. If Tottenham plays away, I think it has collected more points, not away, at home.
At home.
Tottenham have collected more points away than at home, and Manchester United has collected more points at home than away. So coming together, to me, it's like a 50-50 kind of affair. Whoever actually clicks very fast, whoever puts the goal before the other, might be commanding the game. Also, you have mentioned a point whereby some of the Tottenham players coming back. I saw the other day, Christian Romero actually has been slotted back. Remember at some point, Danso were forced to play with Van der Vet and that particular the centre back. But now Romero is coming back, which and again has been a cog. So many teams when they are playing together with Van der Vet in that particular centre back. You have mentioned the legs of Kulusevski, like actually holding that ball and creating spaces for the legs of Brenda Johnson to run in and Solanke create those dangerous kind of spaces that this player can really latch on and score. So as to say, if one of these teams fails to manage their spaces well and play without a purpose, that will be the end of it in that particular. And also, Tottenham are under pressure. They lost their previous match against Chelsea.
Yes.
And I remember at some point, fans were actually booing them. So fans are not happy. So Tottenham will playing with that kind of pressure to go and at least try to impress their players, their fans at home. So as to say, Manchester United want to surge and make the legs of Kariuki at least sleeping at number 2, as he has said. So it's a quite cagey affair to me. Any team that will go ahead, score and manage their game very well might come out victorious. But the fair result would, to me, would have been if both teams plays at a draw.
Rogers Eshtemi, the clash of the Titans. Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium will be taking on Liverpool. This is big. It will be Pep Guardiola's 1,000th game and he's facing Arne Slot.
I think it's a defining moment for both managers. More so Liverpool, who just got a scrappy 1-0 win over Real Madrid in the Champions League. They have to prove that indeed that was not a fluke. And they're coming against a team that has a goal-scoring machine, scoring goals for fans. He doesn't care whether you have a good records at home or away, but he'll just continue scoring, and that is Erling Haaland. I feel the back line of Liverpool will have a lot of work to do for them to contain Erling Haaland, because looking at all, I think there are 18 goals or so for 20 goals scored by Manchester City, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
I think 17 or 16 are scored by Erling Haaland. That tells you that this person is a person who is carrying this Manchester City team, and Manchester have really crept themselves back into the title race. And if they manage to get those points against Liverpool, who are equally back in the title race, I think it will be so easy for them maybe to try and pray that Arsenal drop points in their consecutive matches. But for Liverpool, I think pressure has eased on the Slot, but it is not yet over, because he has to prove that also in the league he has those thick the appetite to win against the best, because this Man City game is the one that's going to determine if Arne Slot is able to challenge, and rather try and challenge for the title and defend it at the end of the season come May. But it will not going to be a walk in the park. Goals will be there, but I put my money mostly on the Manchester City side.
Cedric Musumba, Steven is asking, good job guys, keep it up. Vile McCarthy amewacha nje Kinyanjui na Kelly Madada wa FC Leopards, sielewi. Who's winning this fixture? Fred?
It will be a perfect 1,000th game for Pep Guardiola.
Eshtemi, who's winning?
Manchester City.
City. Cedric?
Liverpool.
Kaka?
For everyone to be happy, it should be a draw.
City 2-1.
City 2-1. Okay, let's quickly run through the fixtures that we have for different leagues this weekend. We have a couple of fixtures this weekend. Sport Pesa Liga, Tusker got a 1-0 win against Robedco United. Tomorrow we do have a couple of fixtures, and which will see Nairobi United take on Kariobangi Sharks. Mara Sugar will be facing FC Leopards. That is on Saturday. On Sunday, 3 fixtures on the cards, more than 3 fixtures on the cards. Ulinzi face Shabana, APS Bomet take on Mathare, Bandari face KCB, Homeboys take on Muranga Sealers, Police FC take on Gor Mahia. Interesting fixture to look out for in the local league. Now, aside from the local Sport Pesa League, let's take a look at what is happening in the English Premier League. Tottenham face Manchester United, Everton take on Fulham, West Ham face Burnley, Sunderland host Arsenal, Chelsea will be battling Wolves, and then on Sunday, that is when we have the interesting fixtures. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth, Brentford face Newcastle, Palace take on Brighton, Nottingham will be battling United Leeds, and Man City take on Liverpool. That is EPL. We move away from the EPL, we get into Spanish La Liga. Girona facing Alaves, Sevilla taking on Osasuna, Atletico Madrid will be at home against Levante, Espanyol take on Villarreal, while still with that, Athletic Club Bilbao face Real Oviedo, Rayo Vallecano take on Real Madrid, Mallorca face Getafe, Valencia host Betis, Celta Vigo takes on Barcelona. That is in the Spanish La Liga. We move on from Spanish La Liga, we get into the Italian Serie A. Como take on Cagliari, Lecce host Hellas Verona, Juventus face Torino as Parma battles AC Milan. And then Atalanta will be in action against Sassuolo, Bologna take on Napoli, Genoa will be taking on Fiorentina, AS Roma host Udinese as Inter take on Lazio. Those are the fixtures that we have in different leagues. And finally, Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen face Heidenheim, Hamburg will be taking on Borussia Dortmund, Hoffenheim take on Leipzig, Union Berlin will be facing Bayern Munich, Borussia Mönchengladbach take on FC Köln, and still on Saturday, Freiburg face St. Pauli. And then Sunday, Stuttgart take on Augsburg as Eintracht Frankfurt take on Mainz. Those are the fixtures that we have in different leagues across Europe. Thank you very much, Fred Kagonya, for making time. Roger Shtemi, asante sana. Cedric Musumba, thank you very much. Danny Kariuki, asante sana. 254. Or 254. Asante sana. And Hassan Juma, that is where we wrap up the Football Sleep tonight. My name is Robinson Okeye. Have a good night.